All right, hello everyone, it's silverkyle, and today we're going to be taking a look at The Amazing Spider-Man by David Mcelini and Todd McFarlane Omnibus, which is getting a reprint this month in August of 2021. It'll be the third printing of this book. However, the version that I have is actually the second printing from 2018, so it's not the exact same, but pretty much everything that's covered in this one is included in the third printing that's coming out this month. Other than the spine, which I'll kind of go over in a second. For the most part, they're identical. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take an overview of this and give a look at the binding and all that kind of stuff. But what I generally like to do, if I have the other omnibus that are the before and after, I like to kind of put them together and show you what it would look like on the shelf. So this is essentially what it would look like if you have all of these. They just redid a reprint of the Spider-Man by Roger Stern earlier this year in 2021. Then we have the new one, which does have a different spine. The actual spine that they're using instead of this logo, they're using the actual Spider-Man logo. And it's not like we've been seeing. It's not the spines that we've been seeing where it's much smaller font. It's much big. It's basically the same size. It's just that it's the actual Spider-Man logo. And whoops, they do have a different picture here as well. I think it's a McFarlane Spider-Man that they have there. So that would be different. And then this is the next one after that is the Spider-Man by David Mcelini and Eric Larson. And this might be blasphemous, but I kind of prefer the look of Spider-Man's drawings here more than McFarlane's. McFarlane has a really nice style, and for his Spawn, that is, to me, there's nothing better than that. And I do like his Spider-Man and Venom as well, but not as much as I like Larson. But that's just personal preference there. And here, these two follow right after each other in terms of as soon as you're done this, it starts with it ends with issue Amazing Spider-Man 329, and we have, I think that's actually included in this one as well. Yeah, it is. And then it goes up to 350, and then it goes into some other stuff from Spider-Man. We're quite a bit behind, so they still need to it ends at Amazing Spider-Man 252. And this one picks up at 296. So there's still quite a bit, maybe depending on how they would map this out, but at least one other omnibus in between here. But at the moment, this is what it's looking like. So now we're going to take a closer look at the actual omnibus. All right, so now we'll take a closer look at the actual book itself. And so we have the cover here. Now, the version that I have is, I guess, the standard edition, not the direct market. So the direct market is actually the issue 300, whereas I have the cover of 301, but this is with the recoloring. The originals look like this. And I can show you what the direct market version of issue 300 looks like, because it is on the flip side of this actual hardcover. But this is what it looks like. It's still really nice, but I would prefer the original. Like I said, the spine will be different unless you get an either the first or second printing. Then that's what this will look like. So once again, it would be the Amazing Spider-Man actual logo here, and then a different image of Spider-Man. And it retails for $100 in the US, $127 in Canada, and it collects Amazing Spider-Man 296 to 329 and material from Spectacular Spider-Man Annual 10. And the lovely art that we get in the back here, which is just look at that lizard issue. That's the one thing that I do like about McFarlane, is the way that he would draw his the villains. I thought was just, I loved it so much. Flaps. And probably some information about the creators here. That's a lot. So we're not going to go anything about the spoilers. So once again, that's the exact same thing that we have. And I'll show you on the flip side, which is what the direct market. So same thing for that, for the spine. Whoops. There you go. That's what it would look like for the direct market. It would be so much nicer with the 300s everywhere. I think that, I don't know, that's to me a very iconic image. Now, I will say that this printing, which is the second printing, along with the third printing, by the looks of things from the third printing, which I saw from Omar's from Near Mint Conditions overview, it looks as though the binding is excellent. I love the binding of this book so much. So once again, we do get a table of contents that specifically tells us what page that they're at, when it was done, what year it was in. Starts it off, not virgin covers. We're getting the actual, all the information with that looks like the actual issue, which I always love. And we get the page count as well. And like I said, this book just, I didn't have to stretch this at all. This is absolutely insane. This to me is what kind of made Marvel the king of omnibus for a while. And without going into spoilers, but this is where, the symbiote suit, the black symbiote suit, was introduced, and eventually Venom. And that's kind of like the selling point of this omnibus. There's Eddie Brock, McFarlane's Eddie Brock. So much strange detail. I love this kind of detail, but it's very. He looks almost disfigured, Not disfigured. I can't really put my finger on it, but it's just very. He looks. He doesn't look as handsome as he would, but drawn by other artists. I find he looks much more rugged. Look at the eyebrows there, and then just all the extra lines that he has for the wrinkles. It's interesting. And so, obviously, I can't get around it, but I mean, it's Spider-Man versus Venom. That's the kind of the selling point of this. I just love how it opens. And the art, and obviously everything that's kind of going on. Mysterio, that's another great cover right there. Black hat. And sorry, I can't remember. The page count for this was I think 860, 8 something. I know that. Sabretooth. And we even get Hulk, which was really cool because that's how McFarlane was also drawing the Hulk for Marvel back in the 80s for Peter David's run. The beginning of David's run. That's weird to see Batman there. And we're in the extras here. Quite a few extras. That's really nice. Juggernaut. I love this image. I think it's McFarlane. I think that this is Larson and that's McFarlane. I can't even remember. But it's two different versions, two different artists together for an image. That's ridiculous. I love how big that mouth is, especially in that one. The jaw is just, it doesn't make sense. He's like alien. A few more. And there you have it, but I will quickly show the eye just because it's such an incredible eye. So we're about halfway through the book there. Obviously sewn binding. Once again, though, this is the second printing, but it looks as though it's pretty much the same thing. Now, you can't get better than that. That is the absolute best eye I think I've ever seen. Look how straight that is. It lays perfectly flat. Also, just look at that. The lizard just... McFarlane, I think that the best lizard, I would say, is by McFarlane. I just love the look of his lizard. So, that's really weird. How he draws the lizard from Spider-Man. We'll go with that. But yeah, incredible binding here. And I do believe that the ribbon, though, is red on the reprinting. So just in case you were wondering. And I mean, halfway through, look, that's insane. That is honestly, I've never seen a better binding than that. So there you have it. that is the Amazing Spider-Man. So if you're curious about diving into that, I mean, the material that you're getting starts off with McFarlane. It is a different artist at the beginning, and then it goes to McFarlane. So it's not McFarlane the entire time. But the storyline here is to do with the Venom suit. And it leads into the next one by David Mcelini and Eric Larson. So thank you all for watching. You have been bearded in.
Beardage.